What is going on, YouTubeverse? John Stanek from Johnny Radio here, bringing you another Viva Vinyl classic album review, and it does not get much more classic than this, folks. 2002's The Big Come Up by the Black Keys. Yes, the Akron, Ohio duo of Patrick Carney on the drums and Dan Auerbach on vocals and guitar. These two they're just one of my favorite rock bands of all time at this point. I think one of the best bands to come out of the new millennium, and this being their debut record, which most people didn't hear until many years later, myself included. Really, I didn't get to know the Black Keys until 2010's Brothers, and they had already released at least 6 albums at that point. So they really took a while to grow into the scene. They really had a DIY aesthetic, garage band, living out of a van and traveling the US and getting their name out there, word of mouth. And this first album only sold a little over 100,000 copies upon its release, but now it's gone on to sell much more than that, because people were like, oh wow, the Black Keys have this deep of a catalog, let me go back and re-listen to this. And it's such a charming debut record, because when you know that it's just these two guys that recorded in their basement on an 8-track recorder with just a couple of microphones, it makes it that much more endearing. And of course, this does have kind of a grungy garage rock kind of sound, but it's rooted in the blues. And I think that's what makes it work so well, is you can tell, especially with some of the cover songs on here, like they do a cover of Muddy Waters' Run Me Down, which is excellent. And then some other unknown older blues songs like Busted and Do the Rump, which Do the Rump I think is one of the best songs on this album. It has such a cool groove, and the way that these two vibe off of each other. If you don't know anything about the Black Keys yet, you'll know. I mean, just instantaneously, you can just feel the chemistry that these guys have. And it's very loose, and the sound is very lo-fi. Patrick Carney would joke and call it medium-fi, and just so many great songs on here. My favorite is The Breaks, which has such a cool blues riff to it, unlike any other, and it's just hypnotic. I can listen to that thing over and over again. It remains one of my favorite Black Keys songs of all time. It's just such a cool riff by Auerbach. And yeah, they do have mostly originals on here, but they do also throw in a Beatles cover of She Said, She Said from Revolver. This is actually, I think, one of the weaker tunes on the album, especially the lo-fi or medium-fi sound really shows through on this one, but it's cool how they make it into a blues tune. Very cool. I mean, really, it's a blues record through and through, and for that reason, I think that the band started to go more in different directions as they grew and matured. They're just more of an overall rock band now. They incorporated soul and R&B and a lot of different flavors as they went along, but this is pretty much strictly a blues record, a grungy, dirty, made-at-home blues record, and for that reason, it is one of my favorite blues albums of all time. I mean, going further into the track listing, Heavy Soul is a great one. Brooklyn Bound, Leavin' Trunk, which is another just a well-known blues song from way back that no one really knows who wrote it. This record, by the way, has an additional song, No Fun, a Stooges cover, which it doesn't really add to the mix, to be honest. It's also one of the weaker ones, but also have to mention I'll Be Your Man, which is an original and ended up being in a TV show years later. So the Black Keys, again, that slow ascent to greatness. And by the time the early 2010s came around, they were just kind of on top of the world. And even though I wasn't crazy about their most recent album, Let's Rock, still, they just have so much great material under their belts at this point that they really are, I think, one of the best. And I would put them above the White Stripes as far as bluesy, alternative, garage rock from the early 2000s. And that's really saying something, I think. So overall, I would give this a strong 8 out of 10. If I had to pick 2 favorite tracks off here, I would say definitely The Breaks and Do the Rump. Busted is also such a great opener. You just know what you're in for from those opening guitar licks, and it never lets up for the full runtime. Just a fantastic debut, one of the greatest debut albums you can have, really. It may not measure up to like Are You Experienced by Hendrix, but hey man, this is the 2000s that we're in. So guys, thank you so much for watching. We got more album reviews, top 5s every Friday, top 100s now, and so much more. Thank you for watching, and as always, Viva la vinyl. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and be sure to ring the bell for notifications so you can always see great quality content like you're seeing on the screen right now. Thank you so much for supporting Johnny Radio, and I'll see you soon.